Welcome to Keep Heading East. I'm Murray from the YSC Cookery School. If you're joining us again, then welcome back. And if you've joined this series for the first time, you've joined us in China. You can check out the main introduction to this series by clicking the on-screen link in the cards, or follow the link in the description below to our free PDF cookbook with all the dishes that we'll be cooking in this series. Or if you prefer a printed version, there's one available as well. Our Chinese cuisine can be broken down into 8 different regions. Guangdong or Cantonese cuisine. Cantonese food is probably the most well-known style internationally. The Guangdong province and Hong Kong are particularly known for great seafood and rice dishes. And there's quite a wide variety of dishes in this region, but the dishes don't tend to have strong flavours and they're on the sweeter side. There's lots of braised dishes and soups and stews and that sort of thing. This is one of the regions where you can find Bao Buns, the first entry into our Keep Heading East cookbook this week. Number 2 on the list is Szechuan Cuisine. It's really spicy and bold, often quite mouth-numbing. There's a lot of chili and garlic and ginger, and also a lot of peanuts. In particular, Szechuan peppercorns, which is kind of the highlight throughout the region's dishes. Szechuan food is the most widely served cuisine in China, and some of the recipes and techniques are a little more in depth than you might imagine. We've linked to a video from a channel called Souped Up Recipes for a spicy Szechuan poached beef. It's really lovely, fresh, punchy broth style dish, and if you're a bit tender when it comes to chili, you might want to tone it down a little. Number 3 is Jiangsu Cuisine. In the Jiangsu province is in China's biggest city, Shanghai, have a very refined gourmet cuisine that's often served at government banquets and special occasions like this. The food from this region is quite a lot more refined and a lot of effort's placed on the precision of the cooking techniques and presentation. Think Chinese haute cuisine. Sweet and sour spare ribs is one of the more famous dishes to come out of Jiangsu. And there's quite an emphasis on freshness and healthy food as well. Number 4, Zijiang Cuisine. It's a little more mellow than in other areas. There's lots of fresh seafood, freshwater fish, and bamboo shoots and things like that. The Zijiang province is south of Jiangsu and also borders on Shanghai, so their styles are quite similar, but it's less elaborately prepared. The focus is more about serving fresh food. The food's often served raw or almost raw, and it's really fresh and crispy and seasonal. It's kind of getting on almost towards the Japanese style of cooking. Number 5 is Fujian Cuisine. It's light and carries a mild, sweet, sour taste. Soup is eaten with most meals, more so than anywhere else in China. It uses ingredients from the sea and the mountains, and it's best known for great seafood and soups. It's here where you'll find some of the more exotic ingredients used in China or Chinese cuisine, from things like mussels, oysters, sea cucumbers, sea worms, and all sorts of snails and slugs and things. One of our favourite channels for Asian cuisine as a whole is a guy called Liaw, and I've linked to his dish for Hokkien Fried Rice. Now, it's actually a Taiwanese dish that comes from the Hokkien people who first came to Taiwan from the Fujian province in China. It's different to other fried rice dishes in that it's a simple fried rice topped with lightly braised ingredients. In true Hokkien style, the dish often contains a mixture of dried seafood and other ingredients from the land and from the mountains. And number 6 is Hunan Cuisine. The people of Hunan region can't seem to survive without chilies. Every dish in the region seems to have chilies in it, so it's all quite spicy and hot and sour. A lot of sour flavours in there as well. There's a lot of sautéing, stir-frying, steaming, smoking styles, along with lots of fermented vegetables and tofu. Now, Hunan food tends to be even hotter than Szechuan food. It's often tastier because they don't use the Szechuan peppercorn that really numbs the mouth and destroys your taste buds. It's a massive agricultural area, so citrus fruits and vegetables feature quite highly on the menus. It's also the main white rice growing area in China, so rice and rice noodles feature pretty highly in the area. Now, number 7 is Anhui Cuisine. Now, Anhui Cuisine is one of the lesser known cuisines of the 8 great cuisines of China. It's a poorer inland province west of Shanghai, so its food's basically kind of hearty mountain peasant food. The style is quite wild and uses lots of wild caught frogs and local small shrimp and turtles and lots of other wildlife in the soups and stews. For the Chinese, food is medicine. They pay attention to both the season and the weather. They use yin and yang foods to achieve a balance and promote health and comfort. Things like locally produced bayberry, tea leaves, bamboo shoots, and dates all come from the mountain area. And locally picked wild herbs add both an aroma but also medicinal effects to their dishes. And finally, number 8 is the Shangdong Cuisine. Shangdong was one of the first civilized areas, and it's kind of set the pattern for the northern styles of cooking in China. With a long coast, seafood is kind of everywhere and kind of its forte. The Shangdong chefs aim to preserve the flavour and the colour of the main ingredients, so there isn't lots of overly spicy or strong ingredients used. Seafood's usually either cooked using really simple ingredients and braised or stir-fried using a term known as bao. The technique is where the wok is heated to a really high temperature and there's not much oil used. And the idea is to seal in the flavour without overcooking the item or making it too oily. It's less sweet and more on the salty side of Chinese cuisine, and they use a lot of vinegar. So unlike the southern cuisines, they eat a lot more wheat. So there's things like noodles and steamed breads, etc. These pop up quite a bit. Now, our other entry into the Keep Heading East cookbook for China is the humble wonton. Different variations of wontons are served in most regions of China, ranging from little braised dumpling style of wontons served in soups to the crispy fried style that's everybody's favourite, in my opinion. It's like a small wheat dough wrapper, and it's filled with a pork and cabbage filling, and then it's deep fried. It's quite straightforward once you've mastered the technique, and something great for the weekend. So that's it for this stop on our Keep Heading East tour of global cuisine. I hope you've enjoyed it. Links are on screen now for the videos I mentioned earlier if you'd like to see a little more from the region. And remember, for our subscribers, there's a fantastic cookbook to accompany this series. So if you haven't already, hit subscribe and grab yourself a free PDF copy of our cookbook, or if you prefer a hard copy, the links are there as well. Thanks for watching. See you soon.